Yes, the Mueller report. I get it. All right, we'll talk about the Mueller report today, but I wanted to start with this. By the way, Howard Riell, Real Truth. You're in the right place. Item from Fox Business. Amazon, Netflix, General Motors, Chevron, JetBlue, IBM, and U.S. Steel were all among the companies that avoided taxes last year, using a diverse array of loopholes and tax breaks, according to a new report from the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, a nonpartisan think tank, unquote. My friends, there are a lot of things that make me ashamed these days. Too many for me to run through a list of them. When I see children being abused, I'm ashamed that as a society we allow it to happen. When I see companies making billions of dollars, not just in revenue, but in profits, billions of dollars not paying any taxes, don't tell me it's legal. Don't tell me they're working within the confines of the law, because I don't care. It's a bad law. It's a law crafted by scumbags to benefit other scumbags. Those loopholes are not just cracks that things fall through. They're designed. They're crafted. They're implemented so that these vast corporations can save money on taxes. Now, I had someone earlier today say to me, well, wait a minute, Howie. I thought you were in favor of Trump's tax cuts. Yeah, I am. Because the burden was too high. But certainly corporations have to pay taxes just like people have to. Keeping in mind, of course, that half of Americans don't pay taxes, but we're not going to focus on that now. Of course they need to pay taxes. And the individual taxpayer is rightly and justifiably outraged when he's got to fork over thousands of dollars in taxes, and a company like Amazon or Netflix, General Motors, Chevron, JetBlue, IBM, U.S. Steel, they pay nothing? It's wrong. It's the swamp. It's the sleazy, cheesy part of the Washington Beltway. It's people taking money under the table, people taking campaign contributions, in quotation marks, to let corporations skate. It's wrong. It's got to stop. We've got to make it stop. Call your senators, your congressmen, call the White House, start screaming. It is an outrage for corporations like this and many other corporations. These are not the only ones. To get away without paying anything in taxes. It is a horror happening right here, and we have full control over it if we decide to control it. Item from Zero Hedge. Initial jobless claims keep grinding lower and lower. The last time this few Americans sought the help of government after losing a job was November 1969, 50 years ago. Initial jobless claims tumbled another 5,000 from the prior week's revised 197,000 to only 192,000. More people are working. Fewer people are on unemployment. Thank you, President Trump. Item from CBS Chicago. Chicago police were dealing with hundreds of teens running through downtown Chicago Wednesday night, yelling, stopping traffic, and running in the streets. A huge police presence did not deter the rowdy behavior at Millennium Park. Stop! I'll read that last sentence again. Because on this sentence hinges the fate of America. So listen. A huge police presence did not deter the rowdy behavior at Millennium Park. So the cops knew about it. The cops were there. And they did nothing. Anybody remember the Crown Heights riots back in the early 90s? People in Crown Heights, mostly black, went on a rampage. Started smashing cars, smashing windows, beating up Jews. One guy named Yankel Rosenbaum was killed as his son watched. David Dinkins was the mayor of New York then. The police were there, but Dinkins told them to stand down and do nothing. Which brings us to Chicago 2019. Police are watching these hundreds of teenagers running through the streets, destroying, threatening, and they did nothing. Well, folks, you don't need Russian collusion or North Korean nuclear weapons to destroy America. All you need is this. All you need is police who won't enforce the law. That's all you need. The animals are loose. The inmates are running the asylum. Look, we don't insist that the law be followed at the border, right? We're so concerned with humane treatment of people who are smashing their way into our country, and we're not focusing on stopping the people from smashing their way into our country. Well, it just so happens the cure for illegal immigration, or at least a lot of it, and the cure for hundreds of teenagers running through city streets causing carnage is the same thing. It's the same thing. Police have weapons. They have militarized weapons. They've got sound cannons. They've got water cannons. They've got other technologies. And when all that fails, they've got guns. I would much rather see one or two of these animals get shot than to see lawless crowds screeching through cities, destroying things and threatening people. Once again, just like the loopholes in the tax code, these are problems that we can fix. We just don't want to. Speaking of which, item from NPR. The brains of dead pigs have been somewhat revived by scientists hours after the animals were killed in a slaughterhouse, unquote. So you got these dead pigs, and the scientists are now able to zap back into existence their brain functions. Now, why is this important? I see this as a very, very hopeful step, an optimistic step. If science can now revive the brain function of dead pigs, well, there's hope for liberals. There's hope for Democrats. Maybe science can revive their brain functions. Maybe they can even do it before they cause any more irreparable damage to this country. So if dead pigs can be made almost, kinda, sorta, to think again, I'm hopeful that liberals can too. It's Thursday. It's Real Truth. And we'll be right back.
your support for litigation. Join us to don't miss the moment of Riell your number one source of litigation. Find out what the mainstream media is like. InfoWars, pro-America, pro-family, pro-freedom. We are exclusive reports, live coverage, information you won't find anywhere else. Tomorrow's news today. Stay informed by listening to KHNC 1360. The Elliott Show, KHNC, the heart of Florida.
Okay, you want to hear about the Mueller report? We'll hear about it, even though for 2 years it's been nothing. It's still nothing. It's a whole bunch of sound and fury signifying nothing. All right, we'll talk about it anyway. Here's Neil Cavuto on Fox News talking to former Whitewater independent counsel Robert Ray. Okay. And Robert Ray is going to tell you just what I've been telling you. It's been nothing, and now hopefully it's over. Let's go.
Former Whitewater independent counsel Robert Ray.
Well, hang on a second. Whoa. Hold on. Under normal circumstances, in a normal time, it would be game over. Then again, in the normal time, it would have been game over 2 years ago. The game's not over. The game's not over because Democrats think that, and maybe rightly so, that their base is really, really stupid. And even though there's been 2 years of investigation on the part of Mueller and his band of Democrat contributors, and 2 years of investigation by every journalist out there who hates Trump, not one piece, not one shred, not one sliver of evidence has been shown that proves Russian collusion. It's all done. It's all finished. But you can't run for office on nothing. The Democrats need something. So they're not going to let the game be over. We just talked about stimulating the brains of dead pigs. The Democrats are now going to try and shoot some electricity into the Frankenstein monster and resurrect it. You ever see the movie Reanimator from about 20 or so years ago? Hey, dead people, zip, and they come back to life. The Democrats can't afford to let this thing go because they've spent too much time and political equity on it. So they're going to continue. They're going to continue in the hope that you, the Democrat voter, is stupid enough to continue to hold out hope that somewhere, magically, mystically, there's something that will incriminate Donald Trump. Well, if that's what you're hoping for, you're a moron. I'm trying to be as gentle as I can. This is a president who did nothing wrong, didn't break the law. What's that you say? You don't care for his manner, the way he acts, the way he speaks? Okay, I couldn't care less. You hire someone to do a job. He's doing an exemplary job. And the Democrats are nothing. Democrats have nothing to offer the American people. Zero. And so, with all due respect to Mr. Ray, the game's not over. The game is going to be played, except it's going to be a lot more pathetic and sad to watch now.
Sure.
course they are. All the Democrats have at this point is a dead horse. They want to raise taxes, disaster. They want to let in floods of millions of illegals, disaster. They want to do away with ICE, disaster. They want the Green New Deal, disaster. Nothing the Democrats have will help Americans. In fact, just the opposite. So yeah, they're going to wrap their arms around that dead horse and they're going to kiss it because they love it, because it's their lifeline, and they're going to beat it. And like I said before, they're hoping there are enough Americans who are stupid as rocks who will support them in that. Yes, Mueller is a sleaze. Mueller is a politician. Whether he runs for office or not, he's a politician. And he surrounded himself with a team of pro-Hillary, anti-Trump Democrats. So now tell me how fair the probe was. Mueller was predisposed to find dirt on Trump. He couldn't. There is none. Oh, the Democrats love that dead horse. Neil, come on, Neil. You're surprised. What happens now? The Democrats ramp up the noise. They continue to screech. They continue to search for Russian collusion. That's what happens now. And a bunch of not too swift, low information voters around the country say, yeah, Trump colluded. Let's get him. They are children. And they're not smart children. They're stupid, petulant children. That is your Democrat Party today.
Want to see what happened?
Oh, we're not belaboring it, Mr. Ray. The origins of the whole Russian collusion mess were a coup d'etat here in America. Call it what it is. It was an attempt at a coup, an attempt to remove a duly elected president. Should we investigate it? You bet your ass we should investigate it. And when we do, people will go to jail. My hope is that proof will be forthcoming that Barack Obama started the whole thing, okayed the whole thing, green flagged the whole thing, and that Mr. Obama's backside will reside in a jail cell.
From the standpoint of just what the president said, understanding how this is not supposed to happen to a president of the United States or any president of the United States. And if things need to be looked at, they should be looked at. I'm surprised how he was redacted. Well, there you go. I'm out of the bill, right? So at the end of the day, Congress is going to see everything. What our wants to put out a press conference beforehand. And how we characterize this report with ultimately seems to be in line with the report's findings. And that's the judgment the public is going to have to make. I am entirely confident that the public will come to a reasonable conclusion that it was an accurate recitation of an evaluation of the Mueller investigation.
Well, the reasonable part of the population will come to a reasonable conclusion. But it's the unreasonable part of the population that is attempting to sink us. It's the unreasoning, unintelligent, unthinking part of our population. It's the mob out in the street holding torches and nooses, looking for someone to hang. More than just a few of them. There are a lot of people in America like that today, and we can talk about why there are millions of people like that today. It's lamentable, but there are, and they need to be contained. Not convinced, because they won't be convinced. They need to be contained. And there are ways to do that. So hopefully this is the final chapter in this ridiculous saga of Russian collusion. And yet, when I come back on Monday, I guarantee you we'll have more Democrats screeching about Russian collusion. Get used to it. It's going to go on for a long time. How long was it after George W. Bush left office, people were still screaming, yeah, but Bush! Look what Bush did! It's Bush's fault! So we're going to be hearing the phrase Russian collusion for a long time to come, and it's sad, and it's tragic, and it's pathetic, and it's America in 2019. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come back. I got Tucker Carlson waiting in the wings. I got Larry Elder waiting in the wings. I got more news. This is a hell of a radio show, if you don't mind my saying. We'll be right back.
Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs and pays little to no tax, ask yourself, what do you want from a realtor? You need a realtor who's honest and has integrity. A realtor who's focused on the client's platform, not the realtor's platform. Who provides personal, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you. You can buy just about anywhere from the world for all kinds of different deals. So I'll give you used to make ready for 1 year. Just like that. Ready? Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. point out that the Alex Jones, your number one source for independent media. Find out what the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. InfoWars, pro-America, pro-Canada, pro-freedom. We are rebooting 776. Exclusive reports, live coverage, information you won't find anywhere else. Tomorrow's news today. Stay informed by listening to KHNC 1368. The Alex Jones, KHNC, the heart of Northern Colorado.
All right, guys, welcome back to Real Truth. Real Truth, Stay Angry. That's the name of my book. You should get it online. Virtualbookworm.com, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Real Truth, Stay Angry. All about conspiracy, power, intrigue, hoodwinking the American people. You will love it. Now, let's talk about infidelity. Let's talk about cheating. No, I don't mean like that. I mean, the media is cheating on Beto O'Rourke. They're cheating on him with Pete Buttigieg, the mayor of, what's the mayor of? Bend, South Indiana. Remember, just a couple of weeks ago, Beto O'Rourke was their love. They were infatuated with Beto. They had wet dreams of Beto O'Rourke. You're not hearing very much about him anymore, are you? Because the liberal media has a new darling, a new pinup boy, girl, whatever. Pete Buttigieg from Bend, South Indiana is the new media darling. Here's Tucker Carlson expatiating. No, but I think that the people who are stupid enough to read it should apologize. Because by this point, everybody knows what Bernie Sanders is and what he wants to do. Children can tell you why what he wants to do is stupid. Certainly the people in Venezuela can tell you why what he wants to do is stupid. And yet people felt the need to invest the money and, more importantly, the time in reading his nonsense.
So the question is,
Now, you see, there's your political response. We need reform. Yeah, schmuck, we knew that for years. How do you want to reform it? Well, we need reform.
let me say this.
Yeah, we need reform, and let's all be nice. That's the answer from the guy who is identified as of today as the front runner for the Democrats. What are you going to do with the excess, the overflow of illegal aliens? Well, we need reform. My friends, that's the kind of crap answer. That's the kind of child's answer that got Donald Trump elected, because he doesn't give answers like that. He gives real answers. And he's got the answers. If Bernie Sanders had the real answers, he would give them to you, except then he would sound like Donald Trump. I don't care if politicians, phony hack politicians, are on the left or the right. Don't vote for them. Vote for people who give direct answers to direct questions. And don't be fooled by, well, what we need is comprehensive crap. Bernie, come on, we're on to you already. Well, there are a lot of people who are not on to Bernie. Those are the low information voters against whom I inveigh. And they are bringing this country down, way down. We'll be right back.
to information you won't find in knowledge fellowship, right in the heart of KHNC.
All right, welcome back to Real Truth. Howard Riell, your host. Yeah, what's that? Yes, that's correct. Author of Real Truth. Stay angry. Go online and buy it. Now, if you are listening to me and you are white, you're a racist. No, don't try and deny it. Take a look at the backs of your hands. If you're white, you're a racist, and you need to pay reparations. Now, to whom do we have to pay reparations? That's a good question. There are no people still alive who were slaves. You got a lot of black people here who are not from Africa. You got from Haiti, the West Indies, etc. So you got a lot of black people making $1 million or more a year. So who gets reparations? Who has to pay them? For example, my family didn't get to America until the 1900s. We never owned slavery, never owned slaves. So I'll be damned if I'm ever going to pay reparations. But we're still talking about it. 2019. Here is African-American radio talk show host Larry Elder. He was recently at the Freedom Center's event, and he's just about to address the question of reparations. Oh, come on, Larry. I know you can do it. No, I'm not kidding you, Larry. And I'll tell you why it's happening. Because the Democrats are the party of free stuff. Free money, free phones, free welfare, free this, free education, free medicine. They are the party of bribery. Vote for me and I'll pay you with something. Vote for me and I'll give you free stuff. They're the party of bribery. Democrats are not the party of, hey, we have a better idea. They have no ideas. That's why they do the easy things. They bribe and they slander. They bribe and they slander. I cannot explain to you in any real graspable terms the destruction that would be wrought in America if we were to have another Democrat president. The destruction that would be wrought if the Senate were to go over to the Democrats. I can't even begin to talk. I don't even want to think about it. The Democrats are the party of lies, of treason, of free stuff, and of insults. Now, if that sounds to you like a political party you want to get behind, find a truck that's backing up and get behind that. We'll be back and we'll wrap it up here on Real Truth.
Hey, Howard, you have a caller, Myra, she'd like to talk?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, I'll let her know you're too busy.
All right, thanks.
Bye. Our insult group from your backyard. The output of the always music. Call me Brian. 970-460-CHURCH. For a free walk through it. Before hiring realtors from a big corporation who outsource their job that pays little to no tax, ask yourself, what do you really want from a realtor? You need a realtor who's honest, has integrity. A realtor who's focused on the client's lifetime. That's a realtor class. Who provides personal, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham and Associates LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first time home buyers, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you. Higher rates, lower rates, negative rates, bail out, so much. You know why you need to hold gold and silver. At the Victor Trading Group, we're a different kind of company. We have no commission salespeople, no boiler room sales calls, no high-price postage. We believe in treating you with honesty and respect and delivering you the best product at the best price. Buying or selling, call us at 800-951-0592. AllAmericanGold.com.
Item from Reuters. German prosecutors have charged a 92-year-old former concentration camp guard with being an accessory to murder in what will be one of the last ever cases against Nazi-era war crimes. Unquote. My friends, the lesson, the takeaway is this. You screwed the Jewish people, you will pay through the nose, even if it takes time. Item from the Free Beacon. The CIA and other U.S. intelligence agencies have become bastions of political liberals, and the pro-Democratic Party views of intelligence personnel have increased under President Donald Trump, according to a journal article by a former CIA analyst. Unquote. That's absolutely right. Democrats are insidiously working their way into and against the United States of America. Item from the Wall Street Journal. The nation's largest city is losing population for the first time in more than a decade, new federal estimates show. International migration into New York City's 5 boroughs tapered off as more residents left, shrinking the city's population in 2017 and 18, according to U.S. Census Bureau numbers released today. Unquote. My friends, people are leaving New York City, the city of my birth, because it's a Democrat sinkhole. Taxes are way, way too high. Government doesn't work. De Blasio is an idiot. He's the mayor. One way or another, it's a sanctuary city. No one wants to live in New York anymore, and the people who remain are just going to get the screws put to them even harder. Item. Related item from ChicagoBusiness.com. The Chicago area's population declined for the 4th year in a row in 2018, according to the latest Census Bureau estimates. Unquote. My friends, no mystery there. Chicago is the same kind of Democrat-controlled toilet that New York City is. The ideas may sound good if you're drunk or if you're doing something and not really listening, but when the rubber hits the road, they don't work. Democrat policies do not work. Item from Gallup.com. As Christian and Jewish Americans prepare to celebrate Easter and Passover, respectively, Gallup finds the percentage of Americans who report belonging to a church, synagogue, or mosque at an all-time low, averaging 50% in 2018. Unquote. My friends, it's no coincidence that as life gets worse and people become more animalistic, that there's a correlation that people aren't involved in religion. I'm talking about religions that don't cut heads off. Item from Breitbart. El Paso sector Border Patrol agents apprehended more than 1,800 migrants who illegally crossed the border on Tuesday. Almost 2,000 people sneaked into our country on Tuesday, on one day. Now, don't go thinking there's an emergency down there. That's just Donald Trump lying again because he hates Hispanics, right? My friends, this problem has to be corrected. I mean, it seriously has to be corrected. And if it takes shooting the people coming over that border, well, then that is what we must do. But one way or another, we've got to get control of this border. And if people who are breaking the law have to get hurt as they do it, c'est la guerre. That's the price we pay. Actually, it's the price they pay. You don't want to get shot? Don't break our laws. Don't jam your way into our country. Stay home. All right, done. I'll be back on Monday. Happy Passover, everybody. Hasta luego.